All right, all right. Okay, so we are live. We're live. All right, it's Mr. Deadman of React and Chill. Going to be reacting to reacting. Going to have a conversation with Paul, who's a fan of Love Bites, and pretty much going to be talking about Love Bites, the experience of seeing them live and all that. I enjoy talking with fans of the band to see how they discovered Love Bites. You know that journey there, and I hope to get a lot of that here with Paul.
You will.
That's good. That's good to hear. All right, Paul. First thing is we know your name, but tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, if you know what do you want to get into, and how you discovered Love Bites. Okay.
Well, obviously, I'm Paul. I'm 52, which kind of makes me quite young for a Love Bites fan, I think, when you look at some of the places and some of the fans on there. Um, I am a lowly civil servant for a job. My hobby's more interesting. I'll write about computer games, mainly old ones or new ones on old systems. So that's much more fun than my actual job. So if anyone wants to pay me to do that for a living, I'd be happy to give up my current job.
Okay.
Um,
So you are an old
can't see it
school.
happening.
So you're a game journalist on the side for old school games.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh,
There's a few old like magazines over here. The sort of A5. You can call them an homage if you like. Some of them.
okay.
What it is, if you imagine back in the 80s, there was all the computers like the Commodore 64 and so on.
Right.
And in the UK, they used to have these popular magazines, and they went on until the mid 90s when those computers died out. But now people are making loads of new games for those old computers, and so those magazines have made a comeback. And I write for some of them, I do proofreading for them, things like that, which is cool because when I was 18, I actually applied for a job on one of these magazines. I was turned down, rightfully so, but now I'm actually writing for that magazine now as a hobby, so it's kind of like a dream come true in a way.
Oh wow. Wow, that's pretty cool.
So
I mean, obviously we're here to talk
I
about
mean,
Love
yeah.
Bites, but I have a couple questions about that. I mean, talk about old school games like drop a few titles. Let's trigger those nostalgia berries real fast.
Oh man, I mean, I've been playing since the 1970s. So the first video game system I had in the house was by a company called Grandstand, and it
Wow.
basically had different variants of Pong on it,
Hmm.
all called different things.
Okay.
They called them things like squash and tennis and gridiron, but really that just meant you had a different number of little bats to hit the ball with.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
just really old black and white, and we played them to death back in the day. So I had the old Atari system. Um, the Atari was it a 2600 or the VCS in America? I'm not sure which way
Twenty
around it
six
was.
hundred. I think it was 2600
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
had
Yeah.
that. Had loads of games for that.
Wait, not
And then
a while back I did a video. I think I almost forgot about this. It was like a Love Bites, like if they were on the Oregon Trail, using the Oregon Trail
yeah,
game. Like I think it was like the DOS
yes,
game. Okay, and I remember your
I
comment
love
on
that.
that.
I love that videos. I watched that. Did you? You did two of them, didn't you? They weren't both Love Bites. You did another one with. Was it
Nemophila.
Nemophila? Yep.
Yeah, but that one
Um.
didn't go too well because because that playthrough wasn't a good playthrough, and the whole band
Yeah.
died, and I was like, oh crap, I don't know if fans will like
Yeah,
this.
but
The band just died in the game. Okay.
that was really fun though. You don't get things like that everywhere else.
No, no. Well, I mean, I try to be different. Okay, and that's kind of my detriment, but also kind of what I do. Okay.
Nah, well, that's what makes you stand out. You stand out when you're different, and that was
Yeah.
they were some of the most entertaining videos I've seen in a while.
It's so goofy.
Oh
But
no, Haruna's got dysentery or something. It's like,
yeah, yeah. Haruda got dysentery. I think Fami got bit by a snake like twice or something. I was like, or someone was setting fires in the wagon. I was like, who keeps setting fires? Stop doing that. but
oh man, that was hilarious.
but yeah, I need
But
to
yeah,
find.
I love all that stuff.
If you can give me like a list of old school like survival games, like that would be fun to do with the band. That would be really cool. We can start with the, but it's a
Man,
side thing. All right, let's.
yeah, I'll have to have a dig about and find some.
All right, but let's get serious here. Okay, how did you discover Love Bites? Like, tell me about that journey.
It's quite painful in a way. I mean, I discovered them. I discovered them on YouTube. Normally, but here's the thing: somebody said to me, "Oh man, you should listen to Bandmade. You'll think they're great." And I said, oh, "Okay, I'll give them a try." And I listened, and I was like, "Yeah, it was all right." But I mean, I grew up in the '80s on. I mean, I started off like in bands like Whitesnake when I was 10. 1981. We're talking here when they were a rock band.
Right.
But then, as the '80s came on, I started listening to bands like Ingve Malmsteen and Dream Theater in the early '90s and stuff. So I like the more technical sort of metal. And Bandmade, although they're very good at what they do, that's not it. So it didn't really appeal to me. So I was like, I'm
Gotcha.
not bothered about that. So a couple of months later, it was 2020, and there was a thumbnail came up on YouTube, and I don't normally bother with thumbnails, but it was Shadowmaker by Love Bites, obviously,
Okay.
and I thought, oh, I'll give this a try. I didn't know what to expect, and as soon as the riff kicked in, I was absolutely floored. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe what I was watching. You know,
Shadow Maker. Yeah, that opening riff. Oh, it's so good, isn't it?
it's awesome. And then then Asami came in singing, and I was like, what the hell is this? How have I not seen this? And then I was racked with regret because in 2019 I was going to go and I was just looking down the list of gigs that were on, and Dragon Force were playing near me, and I'm not particularly a Dragon Force fan. They're all right,
Yeah.
and I was like, do I fancy a night out? Do I want to go and see Dragon Force? It'd probably be quite good. I was like, but I'm not that fussed. Do I really want to make the effort? I
Eh.
thought, who's the support band? I'll see if the support band's any good. And I looked down, Love Bites. I never heard of them. They sound crap. Oh, I'm not going to bother going. And I didn't go. I did not go.
You missed it. Oh
I missed
man.
it.
Yeah, that's
I,
a
I,
that's a you just punched yourself in the dick there. That's what you did.
oh,
Oh
and I
man.
didn't. I didn't realize it immediately when I was watching the Shadowmaker video. Obviously, it took a little bit longer, because that was when I started. Immediately fell in love with the band with that song, and I started looking up everything, and then I saw that they played in near me with Dragon Force, and I was like, oh, why didn't I go to that? You idiot! So, and I had that regret all the way through until this year when they announced the tour dates. I thought I was never going to get to see them live.
You know what? That's a real
But
fear.
yeah,
That's a real fear because for a while the band, well, due to I guess a series of events, was kind of like they just kind of stopped, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, at one point it was possible they might not even continue at all,
That
which
was
thankfully they have.
yeah.
But but clearly, a world tour is not necessarily something that they would definitely do. I mean, they have a good thing going in Japan with the tours,
Hmm.
but we all know that they all want to tour worldwide.
Yes.
So it was always fingers crossed that they will. So when those tour dates came up, I couldn't hit buy fast enough.
Oh yeah,
Had to
most
right the
definitely.
wrongs.
Yeah. I mean, first off, you had to repent for not seeing them the first time. You had to
Yeah,
atone
I
for
had to
that.
right the stupid wrong from me past.
That's right.
I
Okay,
didn't care
so
whereabouts it was that they were going to play. I didn't care what city it was. I didn't care how I had to get there.
mhm,
I was going to go to that gig no matter what. And then
that's
when they
right.
announced the second one, I was like, well, they might not come back again, so I'm going to have to go to the second one as well.
That's a good way to think about it. That's right. And we'll get to your experience of
Yeah,
those two venues, but I want to know a little bit more about your journey. So, yeah, so you started with Shadowmaker. That got your interest there. It just wowed you, sound
that
like.
was
What was the
yeah.
next song after that? And what was that like?
It's hard to say what the next song was because um, once I heard Shadowmaker, I just sort of I probably listened to a couple more songs, but I actually went straight onto Amazon and ordered all of the CDs immediately.
Oh wow. Okay.
Uh, And I also, because I went on Spotify and they were there, so I just listened
Right.
right through from start to finish to everything they'd released. But I think after that, it was around the time when they started promoting the Five of a Kind DVD. So the Holy War Live video went onto YouTube. So that was probably the next one that was a real like smack in the face, because I mean that's just an absolute classic across the internet, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it really is. Man, that's so cool.
It's like it's the ideal starting point for people. It's like a kind of the perfect Love Bites song in terms of the way it's recorded, the sound quality, the elements in the song. It has everything you love about Love Bites, and it's the one that gets recommended to reactors first and blows them away. So yeah, that when they released that, actually, I seem to remember. I think they might have released Thunder Vengeance
I mean, I could have.
first from that as like a live video, as a single, if you like. But Holy War's the one that makes the biggest impression, really.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't tell you which one they
And
released.
then I was going to say, and then they did the live stream where they streamed the whole concert, and the band members were like along the box. So that was really probably what got me all in on Love Bites, I think.
That's pretty cool. I mean, that's I mean, that makes a lot of sense there. That journey you had is very very cool, and I mean, it sounds like Shadowmaker just got you really into it. You wanted to buy up the albums, just go to the next song, go to Holy War,
Mm.
and you know, I think we are having some internet issues here.
You cut off there. I don't know if you can still hear
Yeah,
me.
and I'm also recording a local copy, so that should be fine. Hold on here, we'll get this. We
There
were
we
just
go.
we were just
You're back.
fine, and now we're not.
We're
Uh,
good. I'm
are you still
I'm
there?
back. I can hear you again. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So
I lost you for a minute there, but we're back.
okay, that's good to hear, and I think it's trying to reconnect it, but we're still recording on our side. That's fine. Okay, so
Yeah.
you had that. So you are immersed in Love Bites. You're enjoying what you're seeing and what you're hearing, and it is like at this point, I have to ask you, like, was there like a favorite album at that point? Did you like, oh man, this particular album is better than the others? I mean, did it ever get there?
It cut off again.
Uh, I see.
Can you still
Okay.
hear? Because it just cut off. I lost that whole question there.
Oh, I was saying, do you have a favorite album? I think we're cutting in and out here. Okay, are you still there, Paul?
Album.
Oh, he's answering, but what is going on?
I don't know. I don't like it though. It was stable before. It was fine.
Yeah, it was stable. It was very stable. I wonder if the kids are on Minecraft. I don't know what's going on. Okay, but anyway, so tell me about
Right.
tell me if you have a favorite album and what makes it that.
I probably will say it's a difficult one. I'll probably say my favorite album is Electric Pentagram, because I think it's the most consistent all the way through for me. Like there are no songs on it at all where I would occasionally skip it, I don't think. Um, Whereas I think probably each of the albums maybe has one that I might skip over sometimes.
Okay, so Electric Pentagram. That's a good album too.
It's an awesome album, and I think
Yeah.
that, but I don't think I do feel it's probably the most consistent from start to finish for me. Just, I mean, other people obviously will have different opinions, but all of the other ones have maybe one song where it might come on, I might be like, not today. I'll just skip this one. I don't think I have that on Electric Pentagram.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And that makes sense why it's your favorite album. That's the one with the most songs you wouldn't skip. That's usually how I rate albums anyway. Um. Okay, that's pretty cool. All right, so you are versed in Love Bites, and now you finally get a chance to. Well, let me before we get to the live shows.
Hmm.
What did what did you think about the dark times? But you know what I mean by the dark times, where like not
I
fun,
do.
but Miho leaves and the COVID and all that stuff. What happened? What did you think about that?
I mean, obviously, COVID was just a pain in the arse for everyone, but exactly for world domination,
Okay, let me do something on my side real fast. I'm going to stop the stream and just continue to record it local here. All right.
and that got knocked on the head. Obviously, they did the live shows. They finished the tour in Japan in 2021, and they did release. I mean, they did what they could.
Yeah, I mean that is true. They did do what they could with that.
Obviously, after that, when Miho left,
Hmm.
uh, I couldn't believe it when I actually read the email because Five of a Kind seemed such an apt name when they did that DVD. They really did seem like the five of them were all in it together, and you couldn't foresee any circumstance whereby any of them would leave.
Right, right. So it came as a shock to you, I think to everyone. I mean, Miho is like one of the
Cool, but
founding
it
members.
did look bad for a time there. I know the band were very clear that they wanted to continue.
Right,
Um, but in the end, for them, I think it was probably a good thing. I mean, Asami and Miyako got married and had a child each, so they were able to use that downtime to do something that, let's face it, if they were in the band promoting heavily all the time, they couldn't have done any of that. Really,
right.
it would have had to come to a stop anyway. So it was a concern for a while, and obviously the not the best at communicating sometimes, shall we say, whether it's Victor or the band's management or whatever. But it was very quiet for a very long time.
Right.
Um, but then when the news came out about the bassist auditions, that was obviously great. You knew that things were going to continue after that. Um, so yeah, it was just a few months of concern that this band might not continue. As soon as the bassist audition video came out, I was like, yeah, this is good. This is going to carry on. And in my opinion, they've made the best choice they could in
Oh,
terms of
definitely.
strengthening. They've strengthened the band. I'm not going to say anything bad about Mio because she formed the band. She's a great bass player. She wrote some great songs for the band. Her legacy is intact, no matter what. She just moved on to something else. But the band has continued and gone from strength to strength. And as you'll see yourself when you go and see them live, FAMI is the right choice in every aspect. She's given them all the energy and the
Yeah,
enthusiasm to,
I definitely agree with that. I mean, she definitely has like this. There's like this
instead of
aura
being in
about
a
her.
routine, shall we say. Yeah, I mean, you see her on the stage,
Yeah, we definitely do see it on the stage. But we're still having some like cut in and out
you know,
stuff.
she's having the time of her life up there.
Oh yeah, of course. Like Fami seems to be really enjoying herself. Nothing but smiles up there, having a great time, which is well deserved.
But you can see it's spread to everybody else. You can
Yeah,
see instead of being, I mean, when you've got Miyako smiling and jumping around as well,
yeah, that's
then you
true.
know that something's happened.
Yeah, it's kind of like a. It's like she boosts everybody else like a. It's like a buff, like in a video game. It kind of like buffs everyone's like positive energy up too. It's great.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So
It is really, the word for it really is infectious. It just
yeah,
spreads to everybody.
infectious. I like the way you put that. That's right. It is. Okay. All right. So we got through that. All right. So tell me about your first time seeing Love Bites, and especially if there's like a story leading up to that.
In terms of the actual story for seeing them, I mean, I've told you the painful side of how I didn't see them.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true.
so That's still very upsetting that I could have been at that show. But as soon as they announced the dates, I was straight on the whatever the ticket website was. In fact, it was straight to the venue itself, the pub. I went straight on and got a ticket for that, and got everything booked up, time booked off work, everything. It was like there was no way I was ever going to miss it. Um, I forget when they added the second one, but that was a must see as well. But for the first one, um, I don't know London at all. It's a long time since I've been there. I think the last time I was in London was probably 2007.
Okay.
So having to learn the way things worked was a little bit of a daunting prospect, really, but it was worth it. So I got everything booked. The hotel I got was about 3/4 of a mile walk from the New Cross Inn, which is where it was.
Yeah.
But it was on the same road, so it was just a straight walk. So I didn't have any issues with that once I got to the actual hotel. Um, I had a look to see about getting an Uber along just in case it rained heavily or anything, or
Right.
if I
Right.
wanted to get one coming back. And it was £38, which is like $45 to $50 for 700 yards or something. I
Okay.
was like, piss off. There's
Mm,
no way I'm spending that. So
dude.
if I have to fight through ghettos and knife wielding gangs and all that, I don't care. I'll do that rather than spend that money on that on a distance. But it was fine. You know, I didn't actually see anybody that day that had any Love Bite shirts on until I got to the venue. Um,
Ah.
but yeah, it was it was a surprise to see that it was actually a pub.
Yeah. Yeah. And that surprised
Uh,
even that surprised everyone, I think. Like, whoa, they're playing there?
yeah,
Are we sure
I mean,
about this?
I thought maybe it might have been in the site of an old pub that had a new development on it of some kind. But no, it's a pub.
Hey,
It's a pub. It's got a bar. It's got the tables and everything. I mean, they moved them out of the way, but it's I can just imagine on a standard day, it's just a pub.
it's just a pub, and probably with good
That
prices
stage,
on beer.
I'm, I mean, it was London, so there's no such thing as a good price on beer,
Oh,
but
okay.
but
Oh,
it could have been worse for sure.
yeah.
It wasn't as bad as I expected. Um, but I would be willing to bet that on an average Thursday night, that stage is used for karaoke and stuff.
Karaoke, maybe some local band, um,
Yep,
by very local. They're playing a cover band. So
yep,
it is very surprising that
absolutely.
they were there, and especially knowing that Love Bites before that were playing like pretty big places, like doing festivals and stuff,
hmm
and then to see them play at a pub. In some ways, it's kind of like, whoa, what happened?
I'm absolutely convinced it was a semi-deliberate move to do it as a warm-up gig for the rest of the tour. And
Okay.
sort of, we'll get into this. We'll play a little setup show. We'll get all our settings, work out how we want them to be, iron out all the kinks of the set list, and then we'll go on to the proper venues. I mean, the New Cross Inn. To be fair, it does hold a lot of gigs, but when you went onto the website after when Love Bites were on, they were the only band playing there that had sold out.
Yeah. Dude, I think that's the most people they've had in that place in a long time. I'm willing to bet.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I am as well.
And
I think they'd be very happy with the bar take that night.
there is something I noticed as an outsider, kind of looking because I obviously wasn't there. But there's something about a small venue like that is just so special, because like you
Yeah.
are right there in that room with that band. It seemed like everyone was elbow to elbow, and it was so tightly packed. But there you are, basking in the glow of the awesome Love Bites.
Yeah, yeah. It's not something that many people get to experience really. So you do have to count yourself lucky.
Yeah,
Uh, I didn't get there as early as I would have liked. I thought I would get there early enough, but I got there an hour and a half at least before the show was supposed to. No, actually, it was an hour and a half before the doors were supposed to open according to the ticket. And yet I was queuing down the street, and when I got in, I was 8 rows back from the stage. So people had been there since I think 4 o'clock. I read. Um, so I'm okay in a way because I'm taller than a lot of people. I'm like 6'1", 6'2".
Yeah.
So most of the people in front of me were at a level where I could at least see over the tops of the heads.
Tower over. Yeah.
Um, but I was still only seeing the top half of the band on the stage because the stage was small and they are small. So you don't get to see a lot of them. But we did get to see the sound check. You did get to see the band members wandering around the venue to go and have words with the people doing the sound.
Man, that's
And
cool.
that's something you don't get to see at
Yeah,
many
that's like
shows at all.
you get kind of like a behind the scenes sort of look at that, huh?
Yeah.
That's nice.
I mean, you've probably
Man.
seen a couple of the videos of the sound checks, and they're just all dressed in the
Yeah,
usual
and you got to
sort of.
think too, man, like these ladies, we regard them very well, right? And they're like pretty
Mhm.
much like god status with their instruments, and they're very good at what
Yeah,
they do. And they're there,
yeah.
right there, trying to figure out how to make the best sound with what they have and all that. They're able to like was the crowd like bothering them during the sound check, or was the crowd respectful? I mean,
Um, the crowd was. I wouldn't say the crowd was bothering them, but the crowd was getting into the fact they were playing a song. And I know they did "When Destinies Align" was one of the songs they did in the sound check. I forget what the other one was. And at times, some instruments would drop in or out. Asami would sing bits and then drop out, or she would just sort
yeah,
of hum just to get a vocal level. So they weren't playing the full song all the time.
right.
But when they got to the chorus, people were still shouting "Carry on,"
Yeah.
and so it probably wasn't the best from the band's point of view for preparation, but it
Oh,
was it was it was cool to be part of.
but
Um,
oh man, how did the band? And did you notice how the band reacted to that?
there were there was some very a lot of smiles. I'll say that
Okay,
from them. You had Midori and Fami were really just playing and having a good time. Sammy was definitely doing a lot of sending a lot of instructions regarding the volume.
okay.
Should we be using our arms and our hands to
So
go up or down, and on either side, depending on which side was not balanced, I suppose. Um, Miyako was trying to play and trying to focus on the laptop that she has, which has everything on it, obviously from the Love Bites show point of view.
okay, yeah,
Um, uh, and then this is although Haruna's at the back and she's extremely important part of the band, but tends to perhaps not be focused on by as many people.
right.
But when she's drumming and the rest of the band drops out and you get to focus and watch her just doing that, she is beyond amazing, I have to say. That sound check gave me a completely new level of appreciation for what Haruna does as a drummer. Just unbelievable.
I mean, I imagine so, man. Like you saw him like that. Oh man, you got to see things that other people don't really get to see ever. So,
Yeah, yeah.
and in some ways,
Because
what I'm
because
saying
there's
is,
just
even though that venue was like very small and people were like, oh, like they deserve better. And in a way, they kind of gave the fans that were there something special that they probably won't ever get to see again. So there is
without a
that.
doubt. Yeah, without a doubt. It was really really cool to see. Um, Getting to see everybody. I mean, because everybody will be playing individually at times for the sound level, so you get to see more of them as a musician than when you're focusing on the actual band performance
Hmm.
and you hear them all together. So from that point of view, yeah, it's probably not something I'll ever get to see again, and it was
Yeah.
it was really really good. And
Hey,
as I
and
say, I did get a new appreciation for how they work and how they play and how good they are. And yeah, Haruna went up even further in my estimation after that particular sound check. It was something else.
And that's cool. And you got to see Asami and Miyako in their serious mode too. Focused on getting it all
Yep,
perfect.
yep. Asami is very focused on that. Miyako was unbelievably focused on it. And when all of the rest of the band's off the stage, I presume they went to go and get changed into the show gear. She was still there, um, still going through settings on the laptop and talking to the sound people and just trying to get everything right. Really,
Mhm.
she really does have an intense focus on perfection for
Oh,
the
of
band.
course. You got to have a band like that. That's why Love Bites
Yeah,
sounds so good, because Miyako has that focus on perfection there.
yeah. It's definitely it's something that a top band needs, but it's something that gets overlooked, I think. And instead, you get, oh, why does she look so serious all the time? Well, she is serious.
She
She's very
is.
serious about her craft. She's serious about her job, and about the band, and she wants it right all the time.
Yes, yes. Absolutely. And you know what though? I kind of respect that. I know I used to say
Hmm.
in the early days reacting, "Oh, wow, how come she doesn't smile?" But then I started saying she's kind of like the ice queen. I kind of like the
Yeah.
serious look, because it's like, dude, that can cut through hearts, man. That serious look. I, Imagine Miyako looked at you like that. Oh, you fucked up.
Well, that's the
I
thing.
don't cuss much, but okay, that's how you know
Yeah.
you screwed up big time. I'm kind of curious if Miyako ever looks at her husband like that and be like, "Oh shit." Okay. Anyway,
If she does, he probably doesn't. He probably doesn't make an appearance for a day or two.
right, right. All right, all right. So, all right. So we talked about the first show a little bit. Let's get into a little bit more. So I did say it was like shoulder to shoulder from what I saw. Was
Yeah,
it really that bad? And how
yeah,
was the smell there?
it really was. Uh, yeah, it varied. There was some less than fragrant people there, shall we say?
Oh, okay.
Um, it was very cramped. It was. Um, they did pack in as many people as they could possibly fit in there, and you have to think about when people start jumping up and down and things. At one point I was concerned that the floor might give way. You could feel it sort of.
Wait,
It was really.
was it a 2-story venue, or was it?
It has a basement or a cellar or whatever basement,
Ah,
because
okay,
that's where the basement area is another room for the bar. There's a downstairs bar.
okay.
The toilets are downstairs, and that's where they sold the merch from as well. Was
Ah,
downstairs,
okay.
and that's where the meet and greet was held as well. So there was a definite concern at one point that none of that might happen because we might have all fallen through the floor. But it's a sturdy old venue with very heavy wooden floorboards, so we were okay. But there was definitely some flexing going on when we were jumping up and down.
Okay, okay. Hey, and really, a venue that small didn't everyone get a meet and greet, kind of, sort of, in a way? I'm messing.
Well, I mean, yeah, as I say from the sound check,
Yeah.
there must have been at least 200 people in when they were doing that, and the band was just walking among people to get to the back end of the venue. So yeah, it
Yeah.
kind of was in a way. Um, and if you went to buy any of the merch, you weren't going to be very far from the band when they were doing the meet and greets.
Oh
So
no,
you got to see them in close up there as well.
that's very cool. Very cool there. Okay, so yeah, it was definitely tight there. I guess London doesn't have fire marshals to close down a venue if it's over capacity. I don't know what goes on over there across the pond,
Well,
man.
I mean, they will do, but with it being a pub rather than an actual venue, I'm not sure if they actually bother with anything like that. I guess they
Probably
just
not.
have. I don't know how many bar staff I saw. There weren't many people there who would have been part of the pub.
Yeah.
So if that was your local and you wanted to go for a drink that night, you were absolutely out of luck.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Um, absolutely, absolutely.
So you'd be like, "Oh shit, I wanted a pint tonight."
There might have been one person, a local for that bar, be like, "Oh man, I really want to go to New Cross Inn." but they couldn't get to the door.
Yeah.
So they're like, "Damn you,
Yeah.
Love Bites!" No, no. There's a zero-sum
Uh,
chance of that happening. I think. All right.
it just popped into my head, that thought, and it's quite likely.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
uh,
So, was everyone there wearing a Love Bites shirt? That's what I
there
heard.
were a lot of them.
Yeah.
There was a lot of them, and I was a little bit surprised in a way. I mean, um, there were some who had, when by the time I got there, already been to the merch stand and were wearing what they'd bought there.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of different shirts, yeah. I presume a lot of them were from Japan and from the Victor store or the fan club. Um,
Okay. And what
but
was
yeah,
the
it was a
merch
surprising
like?
amount.
You mentioned merch a couple times, and one that I've been asked, hey, make sure you ask about the merch because people are curious. What was the merch like there?
They definitely underestimated what they needed for merchandise. There's no question about it. They had two T-shirts, one of which has the image from the tour poster, which
Okay.
is that
Oh, that's a
wolf
cool image.
image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So they have one T-shirt with that, and then the other one was um, a Love Bites T-shirt, but done in the style, the Motorhead T-shirt that has Motorhead
Yeah.
England on and has
Yeah.
the
Okay.
sort of metallic skull thing on it. So they've done a Love Bites version of that has Love Bites Japan, and it's more of a metallic wolf sort of image. So that's
Okay.
a cool
Yeah, that's a
shirt
cool
as well.
shirt. All right.
So both of them were good shirts, and because I was always going to buy whatever they had, I bought 2XL in each of those shirts, but they ran out of 2XL very quickly.
Man.
I don't know if they ran out of them at that venue, which was the first show, or if it was partway through the second show. But my understanding is that they ran out of the big sizes extremely quickly and didn't get any more sent to them until
Yeah.
the back end of the tour.
Okay.
So they've lost out on thousands in merch sales, in all honesty.
Yeah, man. Um, there's no need to make the small shirts or medium shirts or even just large shirts with the fan
No.
base of Love Bites, and also being that you're going to Europe and you are going to America, you might as well just make them all extra large. Actually, at this
Yeah,
point, make yeah,
start with an XL as your smallest and then go up from there.
yeah,
And just add a few
exactly.
more X's.
Yeah, because
Well,
they were in Europe doing that. Imagine playing in America where we're much bigger. Okay, all right.
yeah, I
We're
mean,
bigger people, especially in Texas. The only shirt size they need at Texas would be extra large. Really, that's what they need there.
I mean, we're an older and larger fan base in general across the world than they are in Japan. They must know that they need a lot of bigger shirts, and I think they should have probably had another design as well. I think they could have easily gone with
Yeah,
green. I mean, you see some bands too, and they have. I know it's different for Japan. They can't bring all of those across from Japan, so it's much more difficult. But you see some bands have like 6 or 8 designs and what have you, and
yeah.
Love Bites would sell them if they could do it, but they just need to have enough in size wise
Yeah.
for people because there was a lot of people who just didn't buy anything
Well,
because they were too small.
and they definitely have the designs there for all those varieties because they literally had a pop up store in Japan. Two of them, right? Two events,
Yeah,
and they had
yeah.
a bunch of variety. I was like, holy crap! And I was trying to hype that up as much I can. I was like, I'm not
Hmm.
even in Japan, but if you're in Japan or have a way to get there to get that cool merch, why aren't you? Because
Yeah,
that's like, dude, that's amazing. And
yeah.
then,
I mean,
yeah,
they did end up selling whatever they had left over on the website, and I bought a couple of the shirts off the website. Um, but they could they could have even brought leftovers from that on the tour with them, surely,
yeah,
because as we've just discussed, they probably had the 2XLs spare from the pop up shops because they wouldn't have sold many of them in Japan, probably.
right, right. Yeah, I agree with that. You know,
Yeah.
one thing I'm looking for is like a Love Bites hat. I want to get one of those. I know they had one where it has like a pentagram on it, which I don't mind getting. But of course, in Texas, walking around with that might be like give the wrong
Yeah.
idea. But that might be something. I might have to actually make a custom, maybe make a custom cowboy hat with Love Bites on it. I mean,
See, yeah, there you go. That would be ideal to sell in Texas, wouldn't it? If they did
yeah,
that. If they thought about, let's think about where we're going to be. We could make this. That would go down great.
yeah. They just have to think about it and be like,
Believe.
is it worth? How many fans in Texas do we have? Oh, I'm sure it's
I
growing.
mean,
Yeah,
they could probably sell. I don't know how big the venue is there, but I reckon they could sell a couple of hundred of those there, couldn't they?
yeah. I mean, they could. I mean, and the fans in Texas would definitely buy it for sure. I mean, that's a very
Yeah.
specific thing, and I mean, Texans already kind of like thinking that everything revolves around Texas anyway. I mean, you kind of see that and stuff. All right, so you,
They could do it. They could have the Love Bites logo, but they could have like the O on Love Bites as like a Texas star shape, couldn't they?
yeah, dude, they love that. Texas love that stuff, man. Oh, okay. New
I
Crosstown, we
think there
talked
was a
about
Love
that.
Bites cap there, but
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say I think there was a Love Bites cap there that just had LB on, but I didn't see it because well, I don't think they had it at the first venue. If they did, I didn't see it there. And the second venue, which I'll go on to in a little bit, I went in early, went right to the front of the stage, and then afterwards I was queuing for the meet and greet, so I didn't go to the merch stand at the second one.
Okay,
But I think there's a cap that just had LB on, but we'll
okay.
see. You'll find that out.
Definitely wanted to ask you about the meet and greet. Let's talk about the second venue. First off, how did it compare to the first venue?
Well, one thing about the meet and greet in the first venue, because I did see it, I went down there to buy the merch, and the band came out to do the meet and greet while I was buying the merch. So I was literally right next to the band buying my t-shirts. Um, at one point, FAMI sneezed, and I said, "Bless you," and she turned around and she went, "Thank you." So
Oh, that
that
was
was
nice. Look at
cool.
that.
Uh, but honestly, they were just standing outside the toilets for the meet and greet there, and I was like, I think I made the right decision not to go for this one. Um,
Okay.
the second venue is a dedicated concert venue, so that was good. You could see that right from the start. Um, and the doors were shut until the time it said on the ticket. They had a proper queue system.
That was the garage, right? Is that what that place was called?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. And they had at one point they came out and they put barriers up for the queue to be behind the barriers so people get past on the pavement. And then with about half an hour before the doors were due to open for the people who'd bought the meet and greet tickets, they came down the line to scan everybody's ticket, and then they moved us forward to the front
Okay.
so that we would go in first. And everybody else had to stand out and wait a bit longer, unfortunately. So yeah, we got in, and I just, as soon as I got in, I was like, well, they only have the same t-shirts, so I'm just going to go straight to the front of the stage.
Mhm.
Um, and I was one of the first people in, and yet I still didn't get right to the very front. There was still a line of people in front of me, but
Yeah.
again, because I'm quite tall, that didn't matter.
Yeah.
I know that
Yeah.
Andrew, who was on your talk a couple of weeks ago, he was sort of one in front of me, right at the front, and then just to the left. Because I recognised him from the video. I didn't have any interaction with him at the gig, but I do recognise who he is from that.
Did you see
Um,
Hades? Was Hades there? I don't know if
I
Hades
don't
went to
know
the
what he
London
looked. I don't know what
went to
Hades
the London
looked like.
ones.
I think I don't know, but I don't really know what anyone looks like from these things. I know
Hey, that's
all
all
the
right.
screen names. I think everybody should have worn a badge or something, shouldn't they?
All right, guys. At the next shows, we need to wear name tags. Okay.
Yeah,
I think
everyone
I'll
wearing name
stand out.
tags.
I mean, I'll wear the silly shades. I don't know about cowboy hat. That's gonna like get in everyone's view. So I'll probably not do that.
See, everyone's going to know your face though because they've seen you from YouTube.
Yeah.
But when it's just somebody from a Discord channel or just a name from a YouTube comment or something, that's different. So yeah, we've got a little name tag and it's got all our different screen names on from
I
the
like
different
that. I like that idea. Okay. All right. So the venue is a proper venue, and so
actual proper concert venue, properly set up. They had the stage, which was a better height. they have the barrier there, so there was a little bit between the barrier and the stage, which there was a couple of photographers from Metal Hammer there. Apparently there were. Still haven't seen that appear in Metal Hammer yet, but you would imagine it should be in there sometime soon.
Oh wait, speaking of
And
that, wait, did you catch the Rock Imperium? I guess they had like a trailer. They released the trailer to like I guess promote. I guess they're gonna release some stuff later on or something. Do you know what I'm talking about?
yeah,
Okay.
I do know what you're talking about. I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah. What
Um,
song? What song did they
I
play in that
mean,
trailer?
they play "Raise Some Hell" in that trailer,
That's
and
right, they
that's a
did.
really appropriate song.
Yeah, raise some
That's just an
hell.
appropriate song, though. But I think that speaks volumes for how well Love Bites went across at that festival and
Yeah.
all the festivals in general, didn't it?
hmm
Like
Dude,
all the
that is a
comments said, next
fantastic
time.
song too. It's so hard, so heavy,
Oh yeah,
and the lyrics of that song, I'm listening to. I'm like, oh, dude, that song is pretty much a hype song for Love Bites. Who's that girl shredding on guitar?
it is, but it's also. But then the chorus part is like a hype song for a festival, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
So it works perfectly for both purposes.
absolutely, absolutely. There. Anyway,
I was glad they played that live. It's a good crowd participation
it
song.
is.
So when they
It
played it
is.
live,
Who that riff is
it made
so
sense.
good. I hear it.
Oh, it's just mean and dirty riff, isn't it? It's
Oh, it
great.
is. It is. Uh, yeah. Motorhead would have liked that. Okay.
As soon as you hear when you're there live and you hear that riff kick in, you're just like, oh yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's great.
Lemmy definitely would have loved that stuff. Okay.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Okay. All right. So we talked about the new venue bit. Let's get a little bit more in that here. First off, uh, was it difficult to hold your spot? I mean, if you have to use the restroom, who's holding your spot? I mean, how does that work?
I guess if you go later on in the gig, it's probably harder. Early on, um, I was standing next to this guy who was taller than me. I don't know where he's from. I couldn't. He's definitely was European, and I think it might have been. I think he said. I don't know if it was Poland. Might not have been. But
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
I could find out who he is because he did say that he's the moderator on the Love Bites um,
Love Bites
Reddit group.
Discord. Yeah, he might mention something in the comments section while watching this. We'll see.
No, it was the. Now I think about it was the Love Bites Reddit group. He says he's the
Okay.
moderator on that.
Okay.
So if I did want to know, I could go into the Love Bites Reddit group and say, "Hey, who's the moderator here? I just want to say hello because I've never really introduced myself properly." But we stood there and we held our spots for each other when we went to the toilet,
Okay.
which was
Cool.
very nice.
So you're able to secure your spot, and that's important. And you're there at the
It
show.
is.
The band is
We
on the
did.
stage. How was that? Especially how was that compared to New Cross Inn?
I'll have to put some pictures in your Discord that I took because at the New Cross Inn, any pictures I took had basically I was taking photos through other people's phones. The amount of people that go to the show and then just hold the phones up the whole time. It's like watch the actual show. Don't
Yeah,
watch through
that's.
your phone.
I agree, man. It's like because it's hard to see through all that. I mean, it's just
Yeah,
annoying. I mean, unless you're taking really good video, really good photos and stuff, I understand. But like, it's just it blocks everyone's view. But okay,
yeah. I mean, taking photos is one thing. You can take a few photos, yeah, sure, but not all the time. And if you're taking a video in the main, how many times are you going to watch that video afterwards? You're not. It's
probably
just
zero.
taking up
Yeah,
space on the phone.
right. Yeah,
You know the sound quality is not going to be great.
I
It's a
agree.
it's a, a memento of the night, but I mean, you're not enjoying the actual gig if you're too busy concentrating on filming the thing through a phone. So yeah, the first one, a lot of the photos I've got have loads of phones in the way, so they're not very good photos. But because I was like second row at this one, I got some decent quality photos, and they are really close to you when you're there. It's such a different experience when you get close up to the point where they actually look life size. When you're 8 rows back, they don't look life size. I know they're tiny, so they don't look life size anyway. But but when you actually see them that close on the stage, and when the band looks, they actually do look directly at you. You have that connection then.
Okay.
When you're 8 rows back, it's not quite the same, but when you're that close,
They're
the
making
band
eye
members do
contact.
actually look at you sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's a very different experience then.
Dude, that is so cool. And to like just be there basking in their glow like that, and they're making eye contact with you as they're rocking, as they're playing. Oh man,
It's brilliant.
how did that
It's,
feel?
and
How did that feel to be
oh
there?
man, it was. I mean, it was. I enjoyed the second show more than the first show. I think a lot of it was down to the fact I was closer. I mean, don't get us wrong. Don't get me wrong. The first show, I was so into it that by the time the show finished, I've got a smartwatch and it said, "You've just finished a workout." So
That's cool.
that's how into the show I was. But yeah, the second show, the first show they played My Orion, which was the only time they played it on the whole tour,
Oh
and they
yeah.
swapped it out. So that was good. It was a great experience because I like that song. It's a
Oh,
great song.
that is a
But then in the
classic.
second show, they swapped it out and they played Soldier Stand Solitarily instead. And come on, who doesn't want to see that live? You know?
Right, right, absolutely. And yeah, so like hearing them the second time as they're going to the set list, were there particular songs like really stood out for you?
Um, I'm not really sure if any stood out as such. It's a weird thing in that by the time you come out of the show, it's just all one big blur. There's
True.
little moments that stand out, like
Yeah.
for instance, in "Don't Bite the Dust." At the end when Midori's doing a solo and she sort of has the guitar up vertical and
Yeah.
she's leaning back doing the solo.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
she did that, but she knocked Fami's microphone and it did a 180, so it was out into the crowd more or less, which was quite funny.
Oh, that's
So she
funny.
pulled a face because she was like, "Oh shit, I've knocked this microphone," but she still carried on doing the solo.
Of
Um,
course. Dude, that's so
and then
funny.
obviously the crowd. It was really funny to be honest. The crowd participation songs always stick out a little bit. I mean, I'm in the minority, but I'm not the biggest fan of MDO. It's not my favorite song, but yet when you're in the crowd and the band and you're all chanting MDO, it's
That's
it's
the
still a great
magic.
experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the thing about that song.
Um.
And like I recognize that too when I hear I'm like, this song now of course I do like MDO quite a bit, but
Mhm. Yeah.
it is definitely much more effective live. That's how it's intended.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what Queen's uh oh man, I'm spacing right now. This is like the most iconic song that they play. We're gonna rock you, or well, man, I'm spacing
Yeah.
on.
We will rock you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that's a crowd song, and like whenever I
Yeah.
hear that, I'm like, if I'm not in the audience or in a crowd or in a crowd setting, it's like this song. It's okay, but it doesn't sound as good as it would be like live. That's how it's intended.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so
That's definitely the same for that, and they have a few songs like that now. I mean, obviously, "Raise Some Hell" was like
yeah,
that. They do "Stand and Deliver," which is like that. They do have "When Destinies Align." The crowd sings the "Carry On" part. So they have quite a lot of crowd participation, and this is what you realize about Asami especially when you're closer up. She works the crowd like almost nobody you've ever seen.
right.
You do see it in the live videos when they release the live Blu-rays and stuff, but when you see it actual live, I mean, she's not a front man; she's a front woman, but she really commands the stage, and she commands the crowd, and it's not just the people at the front; it's everywhere. She looks up to the back of the venue, and she's making everybody get their hands in the air. She's absolutely brilliant at that job. So she's not only a great singer, but she's a brilliant person for getting the crowd going throughout the entire show. She doesn't let the energy drop at all. So that was really the one of the main things I noticed about the entire show.
That's very cool. And I think I've seen a bit of that. Obviously not live first. I don't not live yet anyway. So, but from what I've seen, I definitely agree that Asami does have a way to just like command the audience. She has a presence. That's
Yeah, that's exactly it.
it's like how would you describe it? Is it like kind of like it's captivating yet also um I need a
Yeah.
thesaurus here. But
But you're right, that's what it is, and it's yeah, there will be a word for it, and here's me who's just bragged about being a bit of a writer at the start of this, and I can't think of a word either. I can't pull one out of the air,
well, a writer for
it's
video
a fact.
games, but no, I'm messing with you.
It's a fact though. She does. She just every person in that audience is important as far as she's concerned. She wants everybody involved and part of the show. It's you don't see that from many bands. You really don't.
Man, that's cool. And I
Mm.
think we see that even us who haven't been to the a live show yet, with the way a Sami is on stage, the way she smiles, the way she presents herself, the way she carries herself. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And then
that's what she was born to do is to be the front person of a band.
I think so too. And you mentioned Stand and Deliver. I mean, how was it? What was it like being there when they introduced Fami for her part for Stand and Deliver?
It's it's the crowd just goes nuts every time they mention FAMI. I mean, they do. So obviously that huge smile gets even bigger, and she breaks into the riff. But she's definitely been taken on board by the wolf pack. She's definitely
Yeah, definitely.
uh, immediately has just been taken on board. Everybody loves FAMI. And she just jumps around and bounces around the stage and smiles all the time, and it's great. And she's got a few moments as well, hasn't she? I mean, obviously the Hammer of Wrath is a particular moment where the bass is
Yes.
a big standout.
Yeah.
Um, so she has big moments where she can shine, and the crowd does go nuts for her every time.
That's right. That's right. They do, and it's well deserved.
And well, it definitely
There's
is.
some people who wonder if Fami will ever outgrow Love Bites, and I don't know about that. She seems to be really happy where she's at.
I mean, I know when they did the bass auditions, and I've watched the video all the way through several times, and this they do say that about Fami, but I think she wanted to be in a band. That's what she wanted. She has other avenues if she wants to do other aspects of bass playing.
Right.
She's got a YouTube channel which she does videos on. She's got that other little side project band that she just started recently. That was it, Lust Queen. She did something for. Um,
Yeah, something like that. I think so.
so so she has other avenues. I think she's perfectly happy to be a part of this band and to help pull the band along
Hmm.
and reach new heights. I
Yeah,
don't think
yeah,
she's ever gonna. I don't think she's gonna ever step outside the boundaries or think she's bigger than the band.
yeah. I don't
Um,
think she's gonna do that either. I'd say just enjoy it while it's here and not worry about like
mhm.
what could happen in the future and get all anxious about that. We don't know.
Yeah,
Okay. And no one predicted that
yeah, she's
Miho
not.
was going to leave, and that just came out of nowhere.
Yep,
So I'd say just
yeah,
enjoy the
exactly.
ride, enjoy the
It was
moment.
a bolt from the blue.
Right? Absolutely.
She's doing that. I'm convinced she wanted to be a part of a band, and she's not going to suddenly make them try and change what they do to so that she can go on crazy alien bass runs or anything.
Hmm.
She wants to be part of a band project.
Right.
She wants to she wants to be part of a band that makes cohesive music
And
rather than just uh, individual parts for people to show off.
the way she described it, Fami's her words. What a really cool band, right? It's a really
Yeah.
cool band, and she's so. Now the meet and greet at the second venue. What was that like? What was it like going
Well,
there?
before we get to that, I will just mention at the end of the show. This is for me personally something particularly special. So you get the end of the show, the band's doing the bow, um, the the throwing picks out into the audience and what have you. And then Haruna came and she threw drumsticks out, and one of them went right over my head, and I was like, "Oh, damn it!" And then she threw the other one to my left, and I don't know who tried to grab it, but they made a right mess of it, and it bounced across right in front of me. And so I just bent down, and I have Haruna's drumstick from the London show.
Oh, that's cool.
It's
That's a
awesome.
cool prop there. You got to keep that. That's a collector's item.
You
That
should see the state of it, though. You should see what I mean. I'll see if I can take a picture that looks good.
is it
Like
beat.
all the top, like all the top part of it's got so many dints in it from where she hits cymbals. I mean, I tried to play drums once, and you feel like you just hit with the end of the drumstick, but she she clearly doesn't. There's like a whole third of the drumstick has dint in it from where it's been hitting the cymbals, and then halfway down there's a splinter where it's sort of tried to split a little bit from where
Oh,
she's hit something.
whoa. Okay.
So it's really damaged. This drumstick is damaged.
Hey, that's even
But then at
better.
the
Put that thing in
it's
in a
even better.
glass box. Okay, that's a
But
collector's
then at the
item.
bottom of the drumstick where she holds it, she's written on "Thank you, London," and then she's got a little, her little Haruna face that she does for an autograph.
Yeah.
She's got that with a little speech bubble with something Japanese in it, and then 1st of July 2024 on it. So this is really a special item that I've got.
She has all that on a
Yeah,
drumstick. I didn't know there was enough room for all that. Okay.
I'm going to take a couple of pictures.
Yeah,
I'll upload it
take some
for you
pictures
to
and put it in
have
the
a look at.
Discord. That'd be cool. I'll check it out.
Yeah, yeah. I was really, really pleased about that. And as you say, the meet and greet, everybody that was arranged professionally. You had some people trying to sneak in and take a selfie of themselves with the band behind them, but the venue security wasn't allowing that to happen. They
Uh-huh.
were getting rid of them straight away. So we queued and just took our time, and you watch everybody having their turn, thinking, "Oh, it's me coming up soon. Well, I'm going to say this, I'm going to say that. I want to thank them for everything and talk about how brilliant they are and everything." And it got to my turn, and I just completely fell apart. I just went there. I went there, had the photo taken, and I hardly said anything at all. I got there, and so the five of them stand there, and I was between Asami and Miyako. And I went up, and well, as I was walking past, I said to Haruna, "Look what I got!" Waved the drumstick. She says, "Oh, you got one?" I was like, "Yeah." So that was great. And then I was wearing the Love Bites Inc. fan club T-shirt
Oh,
that they
okay.
sold when they did the Shining 2.
Yeah.
And Asami looked and she pointed and said, "Oh, fan club." I said, "Yeah, I'm in
Very
the fan
cool.
club. I've been in for years." And Miyako goes, "Oh, thank you, thank you." So I was like, "It's my pleasure." But then I really didn't think to say anything else. I just stood there like a lunatic while I took the photos, and then just I thanked them and I wished them all the best for the USA leg of the tour. Um, and then I just went off, and there was somebody waiting to give you get a signed poster when you leave. So I got that as well. But I just had all these things I wanted to say, and I'm standing there with Love Bites, and it's like it's my favorite band, and I just couldn't say anything properly. Turned into an
Oh man,
idiot.
but I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. That's understandable. I mean, that's like your favorite band, and you're finally meeting them for the first time. Like your brain is just gonna dissolve, dude. It's gonna melt.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
you're going to go one of two ways. You're either going to seize the moment, you're going to be confident, you're going to come out with all this stuff that you want to say, or you're going to turn into a gibbering idiot. And I took option two.
Right. 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 Man, that's really cool. That's not bad. That sounds cool. Cool to do. So if you have a chance to do the meet and greet, definitely do that. You have a cool time meeting the band, and it's gonna be an experience you'll have for a
Yeah,
long
yeah,
time.
and you get the photo. I mean, the manager takes your phone, and will take. It's easy to get one picture with the band, but I think I got five because they made sure that you got at least one that was good.
Yeah.
Um, so you've got that forever. You've got the photo of you with the band. Um, and all told, it's not really that expensive for what that is.
Yeah.
I know it's only a minute that you spend with the band, and you get your. I mean, like I say, you get an autograph poster as well, which was the tour poster with the wolf thing and everything.
Hmm?
Um, but for me, the cost of doing that was easily worth it.
Oh yeah. I
So if
mean,
anyone gets the opportunity,
yeah. I mean, in that the chance for me, man, I was gone. Like they sold that out like immediately. And I did buy the
Yeah.
tickets that day, but just not at that hour of the day. Okay. That's how quickly they sold out.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
Very
works
cool.
differently
Hey,
here
you mentioned
because
something about band security, and I want to clear something up here. We all know by band
yeah.
security, he means Midori. Midori with their big guns there. They're like, no, you get in line.
No, no, they did have a couple of actual. The venue had its own security there, so they were keeping people from doing anything they shouldn't. But Midori, yeah, she definitely has a even though she's tiny, she's definitely you would not mess with her. I don't think.
Should break you. Should break you.
I think
So some of
I
us
think
might
so. I
actually
mean,
like that. Don't look at my
I
search
believe there are
history.
people. There are people who would probably pay extra for the meet and greet for that opportunity.
Can I pay
But, you
extra
know,
for you to like hit me? It's like, whoa. What are we going? No, you can't do that.
uh,
Okay, now don't make it
you could
awkward. Okay.
cause damage. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, man. Very cool. Very cool. Both these
Oh, it's a
shows
great
sounded
experience.
very amazing. You have an experience that's gonna last forever. Like unless your memory starts fading on you, like you have that forever, and that's something that you can't get like merchandise wise or anything. Though you did get a really
Absolutely.
cool a collector's thing. That's that drumstick.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm 52. I've been to see a lot of bands. I think the first time I went was 1990 to see a professional band. So it's like 34 years I've been going to see heavy metal bands, and I'm I'm not going to outright say it's the best gigs I've ever been to, even though from my point of view, because it's my favorite band, they probably are. But they are without a doubt the most fun gigs I've ever been to for sure. So anybody who's a fan, and even anybody who's not a fan but likes heavy metal, should really take the opportunity to go because you're seeing top class musicians playing great heavy metal music and having a good time while they're doing it and making sure
Yeah.
you have a good time while you're doing it. So, I mean, you can't beat that for a night of entertainment, can you?
No, you really can't. You really can't. Then now I got some more maybe out there questions for you. A little bit creative.
Go on then.
Okay. I'll do the one I asked everyone, I think, so far. You're on a cruise, okay? It's a murder mystery on a cruise, okay? It's just
Okay.
you and the Love Bites ladies, and then someone else. That person's dead, okay? Um,
Right.
who do you think did it?
I mean, that's going to depend on a number of factors, really, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
It's going to depend on how the person was killed.
Ah,
Um, And see, I watched a lot of Columbo, so I'm going to go deep into this, into investigating this murder properly.
that's what you should
There'll be a lot
do.
of
Definitely, definitely.
there'll be a lot of questions asked. That's for sure. A lot of one more things.
Oh, I got you. Okay, let's say it was a knife in the back.
Oh well, in that case, if you want to get controversial, it's got to. I think there's a hidden member, and I think Miho did it.
To frame someone. Shit. Whoa. Hey, that's actually a funny answer. I like that. I like that there. Oh, turns out Miho was there, and Miho could Miho have framed someone?
Miho Miho stabbed the person in the back.
And it turns out that knife
I'm not.
had Miyako's signature on it.
Oh,
Oh
like what,
no.
what can we read into that, Love Bites fans?
No. Hey, this is not even scripted. I'm just talking, dude. Okay. Wait.
The internet's gonna go. The internet's gonna go mental now. The Love Bites part of the
Yeah.
internet's gonna go mental
Guys,
now that we're talking.
this isn't just joking around, guys. You know
It's
what? I really
it's
love this
all for
band.
fun.
Yeah.
Miho didn't stab Love Bites in the back when she left at all. That's not what happened.
No. All right.
Love it.
Now, how about this one? Okay. Um, a survival island. All right. You
Mm-hmm.
are on an island. You got to survive. Okay.
Yeah.
You could choose one member of Love Bites to be there with you to help you survive, and like you don't really have anything. You have like the bare minimum of tools or whatever, like maybe a hatchet, okay? And they're like,
Yeah.
survive.
Yeah.
Which member of the band would you want to be with you?
Without question, I'm taking Midori for that one.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking. You must have seen Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Of course.
You know, at the start where he's walking around and he's just carrying a whole tree on his shoulder.
Right.
That would be Midori. She could do that. She could.
That would be freaking Midori. I carried a whole
Yeah.
tree.
She can just rip trees out of the ground with her bare hands for us to construct some sort of shelter with or whatever.
I like that. Oh, it turns out she built a house. She built a freaking cabin.
Yeah,
by hand.
just with her bare hands, no tools or anything.
and she sends you to go gather like berries and whatever you could find.
Yeah, I can manage that. I can collect some water or something.
Yeah, collect some water. Can you fish with a spear? Can you go spear fishing?
I mean, I could give it a go, but I don't think I'd be any good. She might as well just wrestle a bear or something, and we can eat that for months.
Yeah. All right, that's cool. I like that. A couple more. All right. Okay. All right. Which member do you think would be forbidden to go to a buffet out of the fear that everything's going to be eaten?
I mean, there's only one, isn't there? It can only be Asami.
Yeah, Asami, or maybe Asami and Haruna together. Like whoa.
Haruna could be, but no, Haruna would have to be kept away from the dessert area.
For sure.
Whereas Asami will just eat everything that's there. I mean, I've seen people 3 times her size struggle to eat. I've seen YouTube channels where the people are competitive eaters and they don't eat what she eats.
Right. Absolutely. And it's like, where does it all go? She burns it off. Like, I guess.
I think what she does is she goes out, she gets all these platefuls of food, and then she puts it all in a bag and takes it to Miyako's for her zoo that she's got at home.
Wait, Miyako has a zoo at home?
Well, she's got snakes and owls and all kinds of things, hasn't she?
Oh, damn. Damn, shit.
She's got a menagerie. Have you not investigated that any? She's got all kinds of animals.
I had no idea. No, that's need to investigate that. Okay.
Yeah, she's got all kinds of things.
Very cool, man. I gotta check that out. Well, Paul, this is a good conversation. I really enjoyed this. See, it goes by pretty quick.
Me too.
We just talk about Love Bites, talk about your experience with seeing them live, and maybe answer a few weird hypotheticals.
When it's with someone else who's a real fan and you have all this knowledge, it's just sort of thing you can enjoy talking about for hours, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. Unfortunately, we weren't able to continue this live due to the internet was acting weird on my side. But we're good here. We got this. This will be uploaded on YouTube and all that. So we'll see what people think of it.
Yeah, it's the fact it's there. That's good. You know, it was entertaining.
All right, man. Well, it was good talk with you. With that said, you take it easy and have a good one, man.
You as well. Enjoy the rest of the day. It's early for you, so I'm sure you've got plenty to get on with.
Gotta start slaying some grass, mowing the yard. All sorts of fun. With Love Bites in my ear.
Do you want to come? I was going to say, do you want to come and do mine? There's a lot of it needs done.
Well, as long as Love Bites is playing, I can. All right.
Well, I can arrange that.
All right. Well, you take it easy and have a good one, man.